So, an Austrian man, some Italian men. This is a pub, okay, we're in, an Austrian man, some Italian men, German military, high court judge, walk into a, was it a bar? No, walk into a prison. Ah, man. This is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. An Austrian, a couple of Italians, the German military, and a high court judge. Well done, EU. At least Germany are doing what they're supposed to do. You know, that's what they're supposed to do. It's exactly stop that from happening explicitly. So well done. You're on the ball there. Slava internet and global. If these things were available back then, it wouldn't have happened. Fucking hilarious. Okay, it's nothing to do with that, really, but it kind of has something to do with that. I live in Ireland, and loads of Polish people influxed here. At one point, they must have made it like a government deal, and people were happy about it, and social things were transferred. You know, they do these things. I imagine they do these things. I just wonder if I never met many people from the Asian community, but I know they're all wonderful people that don't cause any trouble. But loads of Poles, and they're all great. And recently we've got Ukraine people, and they're even nicer. Even again, they're amazingly and wonderful, intelligent. But Polish. This is I'm making this because it's probably a pub in Poland where this happened. No, it wasn't a pub in Poland. Pub in Denmark, really, where this happened. But yeah, I want to talk about Poland and the memory that I have on this film, because it's kind of important. After I saw this, and everybody's like, you know, you're thinking Poland, and then you're thinking also Ukraine, and you're thinking Russia, and these are the exact same thing. Like, you know, it's too farcical almost. It's the exact same things that are happening almost. Ukraine and Russia, and then Poland or something, and then Germany or something. So I want to kind of talk about the poor old piggy in between Poland, you know, because, you know, it's kind of where the donkey's legs start to break or something, where one thing started bumping into another thing, and all these things mixed around in Poland, roughly, you know, and became a big thing. So I forget what I want to kind of say about Poland, other than I have never met a Pole that I didn't get on great with. I'm wearing wonderful trousers that were given to me by my Polish friend, because I was wearing those same rags that I got crucified in for like 3 years, and he was like, John, please just change your trousers, man. And he gave me these lovely fucking excellent new trousers. And I really appreciate that, bro. Cheers, as long as you're right. How about? I have a nice jumper there from my friend there, actually. My friend there, anyway, as I put them. I've never met a Pole I didn't like. They're excellent, and they like a good drink, and they're very good. They're like hard-working people. We needed this in Ireland, to see people like Polish people and Ukraine people who grew up on rusty playgrounds and didn't have a lot and worked very hard. And we don't really appreciate what we have in Ireland. So it's great to see them, because they really appreciate, very much like Asian people, appreciate what we have when we go, and we don't appreciate it at all because we grew up in it. I made citizen the other day, when you grow up in something, you don't appreciate it. You don't see it from the outside. You see it from within, and you kind of take it for granted, and you don't study. So Turkey is like, I call it like the Corinth of a bigger world, global Corinth. Turkey is like Corinth, massive. It's a bridge between two worlds. Turkey, Istanbul, particularly. Lots of different things. You know what I mean? I don't mean to be offensive to Turkey, but it almost seems like if you did have a digestive system and there was some sort of valve, that some sort of many things would kind of gather in this place in between. Doesn't mean it's. I'm not going to say poo is the answer there, to be honest, so don't be offended. Good poo is the answer. But these are the bridge between two worlds. So many things came up through Turkey. And there's nothing to do with Turkey, so I'm talking about the countries that spread out of Turkey. Bulgaria. You know what I mean? Yeah, Bulgaria. You're my little twitchy face. You're my teddy bear. With all of these kids in our basement, we'll be immortal for eternity. Yeah, and everywhere up between there. So like Romania and stuff. So gypsy kind of stuff came from the center of the world, as it might happen. God knows who. Maybe it's Syria. Maybe I don't care. Maybe they came up through the belt, up through Turkey, and it spread out through into Europe. Some bad gypsy hut, and it crept through. I think Romania, maybe Bulgaria, and it hit Poland, which actually became a thing. I think it might have been because they were hidden on the Holy Roman Empire, whereas beforehand they were hidden on places that weren't the Holy Roman Empire. So they were hidden up into these low countries. But by the time it was hidden Poland, it made a big deal. And Germany made a big thing about it, probably. And then in other places. And then suddenly everyone was agreeing that there was a thing going on here. It was more to do about Russia, was what I wanted to say about this video. I don't understand, like, Poles hate Russians, and I don't know why. Like, in retrospect, I'd imagine in the time when nobody was saying anything and there's lots of these oppressive Russians coming into your town and taking control of you, and they won't tell you why. But now, in retrospect, you had a lot of gypsy problem. And you can't talk about the gypsy problem, because when you explain the gypsy problem, it makes more gypsies. And that's the problem with it. Explicitly, thou shalt not steal. This is explicitly. It's not what thou shalt not steal. It's that I have again videos about this. Use thou shalt not kidnap. What do you mean kidnap? No, it's not kidnap. Once again, and removed again from this. Thou shalt not fornicate with your neighbour's angels. And that's what that means. Thou shalt not fornicate with thy neighbour's. The Decalogue is all about being a neighbour. All about being a neighbour. And it's technically stealing. It is technically stealing. But God doesn't give a flying fuck, really, if you steal your neighbour's football. I've said this again, it's adulterous to think that if you, I don't know, I'm not going to, I've already said this, but it is covered in the Decalogue. This minor theft is covered in the Decalogue, but not in this way. Thou shalt not bonk thy neighbour's angels. And it's like, what do you mean, bonk my neighbour's angels? We can do, that's the problem. See, you can't explain it. Because once you tell you can bonk your neighbour's angels, fornicate with your neighbour, then everybody will be fine. So you can't say it. And that's why they minimized it to kidnap. And then kidnap became a thing. Kidnapping people became a thing because they explicitly wrote kidnap. So, and then explicitly, it's like, why do I tell you these things when, like, you just to do the exact opposite? So Nietzsche is correct, he said the exact opposite. But and then it just reduces it, thou shalt not steal. Take from thy neighbour in any way, really, because it is all covered. So thou shalt not take from thy neighbour. So it was hard for them to explain to Poland why they were being occupied, why Russia was occupying Poland, and why Germany were kind of occupying Poland, because Germany kind of told them, and they probably occupied Poland. Yeah, all the royalty back in Europe eventually caught up probably with Germany, being part of the Holy Roman Empire, but also separate gypsies in their way. So they're communist, like they harvest more than anybody, but the Soviet people are happy to be harvested. Germany attacked Russia through all this like bad communications back then when there wasn't really good communications. So I'm just saying, like Poland, I have a hard time with Russians. You just don't know why he's a rocket pilot, and he's probably had a horrible time dealing with all these very oppressive people in powers that you call Russians. But these people were trying to deal with gypsies that came up from Turkey, crept up into Europe, and by the time it hit the Holy Roman Empire and these kind of places, maybe Poland wasn't part of the empire, I'm not sure. Maybe they had a really, really bad gypsy problem in Poland, like a really bad gypsy problem in Poland. And now I'd specify here just as a foreknote, what you might call Judaism has nothing to do with being a gypsy. Again, Egypte is Egyptian, and the Jews left Egypt. So just these things explicitly the Jews left behind originally and moved away from. So Jews are supposed to be people that moved away from Egypt. So when I say gypsy, I mean what Jews ran away from. Okay, I'm just saying that now. So things from Egypt, things that are happening in Egypt. Not explicitly, but entirely. Just there was nothing explicit really. Make a massive video if you want about Egypt. It'll blow your brain. The things I know about that stuff. I don't think you're ready for that. Predator. Yeah, I don't think you're ready for that. But it's supposed to be about this problem. So by the time you hear that, so you didn't know why these people, either German or Russian, were really bothering you, or what's blatantly obvious is like after the big boys all congregated and won whatever global security, which is very prudent of Russia, actually, to me, to be honest, very, very extremely prudent of Russia, and don't know if everybody appreciates that, respects that, the prudence of Russia to team up with America, UK, France, Netherlands, and maybe other people, obviously Belgium and such things, but the fact that Russia went with gypsies for global security, pretty much, or some sort of thing. Am I just realizing Russia? No, they're prudent. No, they're prudent. No, they're globally prudent. That's what they are, John. No, Russia aren't just. But no. They gave it back to you. That's what I was going to say. Poland. They gave Poland back to you. Like they didn't take your country or invade it. Like they gave it back and then reinstated it and made Poland very independent and very solid. If Russia were terrible, they wouldn't have, or anyone was terrible, they wouldn't have given it back to you. No, it was just for security reasons that couldn't be spoken of. So, I don't know, there was something else I wanted to say about Poland. I don't know, what, protect your neck, that kind of crap that's going on. Oh yeah, the 2 people that got killed. Yeah, like that was supposed to be the end. Yeah, that was, and I'm going to say this now, why it might have, that was really ought to be the end of it. When those 2 Poles got killed, that ought to have stopped everything. I mean everything as in funding Zelensky or supporting Zelensky. I'm sorry to side spin this now, I really am. It was a nice speech, but now it's gone. That ought to be the end of it. That's what I said this morning. Those 2 Polish people that got killed. I have a video, I don't want to get into it. But yeah, that clearly ought to have been the end of it. Even Biden's like, it's very unlikely that the trajectory of any of those cross Ukraine. I was even thinking maybe it might have come out of Belarus, but it probably wasn't Belarusian. It probably did come out of Belarus, you know what I mean? They probably shot them from Belarus. But the blatant fact that Zelensky came out and Telly TV Teletubby TV, Teletubby TV, to address your wonderful Teletubby nations. And he instantly said, "This is escalation." And he instantly wanted escalation. Blatantly. Like, that ought to be the end of it right there. Like, I'm a defense solicitor, you know, I'm a really good defense solicitor. That was the end of it. Like, they all trust Biden or whatever, and everyone trusted him and did the best thing they could. You all did the best you could. Honourably, didn't you? Boris and bitches and all you gypsies, you did the best you could, but honourably, and now you can honourably walk away. You made a boo-boo. Yeah, Zelensky, you made a boo-boo. You killed 2 Polish people. I know it's irony, isn't it, that people die. You killed these two Polish farmers, these Amishy-like people, and that's the end of you, man. That ought to be the absolute end of you. You've no confidence, you've no trust. They don't even give you long range weapons for a reason. They gave you defense weapons, and you blatantly tried to. Maybe blatantly, yeah, no, blatant. Because you called it out, like Zelensky. If you hadn't have said this is blatant escalation for NATO to get involved, and he explicitly said this is blatant escalation for NATO to get involved. If he hadn't have said that, I doubt it. But he explicitly said it. This is blatant escalation for NATO to get involved. No, that's your confidence gone, man. You made a boo-boo. They supported you honourably up to the point that they could support you honourably. And yeah, you're a snake. Fucking go shock. Was this Joe? Go figure. Oh my brother. Shocker. Yeah, shocker. Of course he's a snake. The essence. I'm gonna get essence is a snake. Is Ukraine biting the hand of Russia? Obviously he's a snake. It's a snake regime, in essence. No matter how you look at it, it's only 7 years of independence. Of course he's a snake. He's a born snake. You don't trust a snake. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get at the snake. I hate doing that. That's something I don't usually do that. I knew there was something breaking in my heart when I said that, sorry. I didn't mean to offend you animals in any way. I love you and all your I tolerate all you animals. I tolerate all the animals. They're all wonderful and very tolerable to me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to compare you to Zelensky. Or anyone. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's wonderful, beautiful creatures. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, Mr. Snake. Compare you to a human. And they're all lying on the floor, you know. Yeah, but that was the end of confidence in Zelensky. And everyone honourably supported to that point, but you can no longer honourably support him. Because he attacked NATO property to gain NATO. He attacked NATO. He basically bit the other hand that he was trying to get fed by. And he was trying to bit the Russian hand that fed him. And then he bit NATO's hand for more NATO attention. Pay more attention to me, and he bit NATO's hand. And then you can't support that anymore. Basically admitted no confidence. Honest confidence. You know, he pledged not to attack Russia with NATO weapons, but probably all NATO weapons that he's really using. And we're seeing mainland attacks on Russia. Like, what? There's mainland attacks on Russia. Where's the UN now? Isn't that massively, important? There's mainland attacks on Russia. It's like one of the borderlands, Slava lands. All these big, juicy, fatty lands that Russia kept between itself and the world. Estonia, Latvia, Georgia. Russia were very clever and gave a massive chunk of their border. So Russia was this. And they made these countries. Estonia, Latvia, Ukraine, Georgia, and all the countries around it, in a way, as a big flat barrier. And gifted these countries, these little inside to British, French, Spain, blah blah blah. Very clever. So no matter where you're, like Georgia's Britain, Georgia, obviously Georgia. So no matter where people invade you or attack you, these people are going to be involved and they're going to know about it before you. Very fucking clever, isn't it? In a massive big Russian country. Look, the Tsar, Tolstoy, all place. But sometimes these countries can kind of give them trouble. They know what's going on. They give them trouble and bite back. And Ukraine is actually Russian Slav land to an extent. It's Russian Slav land. It's Russian land gifted to Russians. People that served in like the KGB and stuff get gifted Slava land in Ukraine. Beverly Hills. Before Russia blew up the Beverly Hills. I remember seeing that all the mansions were just blown up. That's what Russia are kind of doing. Russia built Ukraine. And they kind of feel they're entitled to blow up the shit they built. It is a bit bad, blowing up the amenities. But at least they're getting people out of places that are going to be like war zones. You know what I mean? They are like encouraging people. But like, Russia's so terrible blowing up all the electricity plants and water plants that they built in Ukraine. Like, we don't want anything Russian. We don't want anything Russian. Like, okay, we'll blow up all our power plants. We'll blow up all our water and blow up all the shit we built. If you're going on your own, let Germany rebuild it for you. Sorry, excuse me. I don't mean to be laughing, actually, that's terrible because there's thousands of families that are probably going to freeze to death this Christmas. It was me here giggling in my mother's attic, drinking a beer, with electricity, and I can't do that. It's not funny. They don't deserve that. Zelensky wants you to stay for human shielding reasons. Russia is evacuating everybody and spending millions to bring people to safety. From the 300 helmets. I wonder will that be remembered? The 300 helmets. And their 30 kgs of cocaine that made them think they could fight Russia. In Russia, real men drink water. Fuck. I was talking about Poland, yeah. What's your neck? Just be, yeah, you know what I mean. Fortitude and temperance and prudence. Because at the moment I heard commentary from Poland saying ultimately this is Putin's problem. I don't know. Was it ultimately JFK's problem? No. He didn't invite Soviet missiles out. Is this Putin's problem? No. You didn't invite your NATO boyfriends out to Ukraine. And all this stuff they've been doing. 7 years, man, Poor Ukraine, they got raped. I had this problem in my country, Ireland, we got raped. We get raped on our independence. You're not valid if you're not backed by someone, and you're very vulnerable. And Ukraine were very vulnerable. And they're right next to Moscow, And they're very vulnerable. And it's blatantly what's happening here, Yeah. So what's your neck does there about Poland? I don't like to see the in the end, because you do kind of have an anti-Russian rhetoric, maybe because of what happened back in those days. They gave your country back. They were protecting your country from gypsies. I might have seen stern and cold at the time, and I might have seen cruel, and there might have been very bad soldiers that did terrible things to Polish people during that time, I'd imagine so, with the mobilization they probably had back then, and the lack of standards and human rights. I'd say lots of Polish women and people that were being dominated were probably had a very, very bad time with Russian and or even German occupation. men occupy things and dominate things, and then they quickly, don't they? They'd really go to certain things. You know, this just did just happen in a time when there was less human rights or social securities and things. And honestly, in retrospect, some good man was trying to protect your country, and then sent in a lot of fucking probably convicts. You know, they usually go to the prisons first. So I can't justify that. I'm only realizing this. You know, when you're writing an essay, and you realize when you're writing an essay, probably were a lot of fucking terrible things in Poland between all of the gypsies, Syrian, Babylonian warlords, Russians, Germans. Oh Jesus! Actually, it was like the center of the fucking tornado, wasn't it? Started here, curled up here, was rolling around. Yeah, Poland. Poland. You're like the center of the. Oh, I would say Pope Frankie. Mine before Poe. Mine before Poe. We don't want an anti-Russian rhetoric at this time at all, because they did only protect you and give your land back entirely and solidify you and let you independently go to, like, you know, after the war, America and Russia were very equal. America and Russia were very equal after the war. If you wanted to go with NATO or America or something, they were cool. They get entirely back to you. They didn't, you know, take your country. Entirely back to you. Yeah. Yeah, there's not Putin's war anyway. I hate when fucking news keeps calling it Putin's war. It's like JFK's fucking piracy. Fucking pirate. So yeah, just because that thing happened in Germany. Where an Austrian man, a couple of, there's some Irish gypsies in there claiming to be me or know me or have my name. There are some gypsies from Ireland, a little magic sprinkle of the Irish leprechaun, a golden sprinkle. I know that for a fact. There are Tom or Paul or some gypsy swine anyway. Using Maori, you call it QAnon and things, talking to Maori. Anonymous, Q John. A Q source is a good Lord honestly detective, and they call it anonymous because they don't know me, but I am that name or star you talk to. And Vokism, yeah, I hate dealing with Vokism, yeah. You'd like that, you'd like that. Something to do with skateboarding and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Islam or lesbians, people before pronouns. We'd like that. We'd like that. It's something to do with communism, Taoism. It's some sort of. You'd like that. I'd like if we stop raping my family of Vanderberg, to be honest. You know? This is Q John. Q balls. Not QAnon. I have videos about this already in case you're wondering what this is. So that was for the Z-Po. That's why the Britons always said it. That's for the Poland. That's for the everything. They're very proper speech, you know, proper sprachen sie proper. The Poland. That's for yeah, protect your neck. Yeah, because that was just a funniest thing. Funniest thing in the world. When I saw that, I just couldn't believe it. Oh yeah, I was only halfway through that sentence. Yeah, it was a sprinkle of Irish magic dust. What was it? An Austrian man, a few Italians, the Vatican, an Austrian man, a couple of Italians, German military and special operations. One high court judge. Is that like? I know it's German, but isn't that common practice if you're like a political party to want to get control? Did they do much? I wonder. Like they're just a political party trying to get to opposition. Yeah, they're British Labour Party. You know, they're opposition trying to get control. I mean, but anyway, you have a gypsy there that isn't me that's using my name, and that's why he's failed. He probably would have done great with me, you know, Reichstag, and he probably would have done a lot better with me than Thomas Matten or Moorhead or whatever he went with. But yeah, Luftwaffen, uplifting, Luftwaffen, uplifting, the Austrian. Now, if I've got memory to say this, what I have just to say is I'm going to say this while I can fucking say this. An Austrian. You say World War II, you think Germany. Like in this little story, an Austrian man, some royalty, a handful of Italians, and a bunch of military, which are our party. How do I say this? Excuse me. Okay. Denmark, Norway, England, France, Luxembourg, probably the countries that were Czechoslovakia, maybe some places like Bosnia around there. Give me a minute. Denmark. Oh yeah, Norway, yeah. Maybe Scandinavian countries, probably. I actually saw they went around the world. They got a lot of consensus before they did this, and they actually went to Africa. And they actually went all the way through Africa, and they went through even the Arab nations first, with the Z proposition. And they went around. I have a video on this called How to Inquire Like the Third Reich. Look it up. And they went around the world, and they got a lot of consensus, and everyone agreed to this thing. To the Austrian man's proposition. Everybody agreed to the Austrian man's proposition. Everyone. This holy, semi-globally Roman Empire ended up fighting loads of people. It's the Holy Roman Empire. We call it the Third Reich. Sprachen from Sie Deutschen. This is the Holy Roman Empire, Part 3. I like Part 2 myself, mate. I like the way Bitsmar poking in the back of the net for the French. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure about the first Holy Round, but it's something to do with killing Jesus. It's all yellow. Anyway, Second Reich. Anyway, and you know the Third Reich as this. You don't say Reich, you say Holy Roman Empire. And it was Holy Roman Empire, Part 3. This was the Holy Roman Empire. It wasn't Germany. It gave a lot of money and power out towards Switzerland and people in Germany. And they sent all their soldiers from all of these countries to Ukraine. Probably around those places. Ukraine and stuff. They set up things. Probably where Georgia came from or something. And they sent them all out there. Anyway, to fight Russia or something. For the Swiss, the Swiss wanted to kill the Russians and the Jews. That's what Switzerland wanted to do. They're bankers. They wanted to kill Switzerland. It was always Switzerland. And anyway, you see the footage of them in retrospect rolling into the camps with Switzerland very blatantly and hastily drawing onto all the vehicles. Okay, right, Switzerland. Oh, we're here to help you. We're here to help. First on the scene. Anyway. Oh yeah. That's what I was trying to get with this. All of these countries, Holy Roman Empire countries, blamed France. No, they blamed Germany. And that's what you know. And you blame Germany. And all these, like I said, Denmark, true as a country, like down all West Europe. Holy Roman Empire basically is what I'm saying. The Holy Roman Empire blamed one part of the Holy Roman Empire, which was Germany. And they blamed Germany. They all. That's what you know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like if you put a video online, it's a good question there, okay? It's a really funny question. If you put this video online and said, of what nationality was Adolf Hitler from, and you went like Austrian, Germany, or Luxembourg, yeah, you're gonna get a good 50% saying German. You're gonna get easily a good 50% of people saying German. And again, there's not much to do about nations back then because it's the Holy Roman Empire, and it's very different nations and explicit nations as you know it now. But anyway, Germany got blamed for caring so much, for their enthusiasm on the matter of the gypsies invading Poland, or the things that were invading Poland. No, it was Germany were very intelligent. Poland's foul claim to a lot of gangstery gypsy stuff. By the time it hit Germany, it was hitting, scholars and colleges and stuff, and it was very sensitive. It was like, what did you do with Nietzsche's stars? What did you do with Einstein's, stars? The German Jew. What happened to him? Gypsies. See, nothing to do about German. Nothing to do about being Jewish. The super Jewish German. Einstein. And what happened to him? And gypsies. Coming up, remember? Bursting out of the bulge. Coming up, gypsies of any, you don't know what? It's not gypsy this, gypsy that, gypsy coming from Turkey, gypsy coming from here, gypsies coming through Mal, gypsies coming from this way, gypsies coming from that way, but they're not, it's not national. Like Einstein, I just wanted to make that point. Einstein. I'm trying to learn a bit of German. It kind of means one beer. I thought it'd be really funny to be hanging out with Einstein in a pub. Talking to him all the time, pints just keep piling up at the table. Because you keep agreeing with him, it's like, yeah, Einstein, yeah. And for some reason, loads of drinks just kept piling up at Einstein's table. And the German Jew, a genius German, original thinking under certain circumstances, good willing original thinking under certain circumstances. And I reckon he had about 2,400 stars, man. As the patent office clerk, I reckon he had 1,000, or even about 2,400 stars. And this is what causes a war. The gypsies know about these stars and give you a bracelet and I'll take all your stars. And the gypsies know about it, and that's what causes the war. And then they know about it. So it's even like, are the gypsies even bad? And then they know about it and they become gypsies even then, because they know about it. And they just become the gypsies. And then you get some other guys going in trying to be gypsies. That's where Russia come in, isn't it? That's where Russia, white on top, that's where Russia come in. Red, blue, white. Yes. I'm moving to Rossi. wouldn't mind emergency asylum. You know, Lavrov or you know, Putin. If you want to, I can give you. I'm not going to give you all 12, but I can give you immortal regiments. I'll give you one or two, or I might give you 2 or 3. I'm giving China 2 or 3. You know, between you and yourself and China, 2 or 3, and you can advise me well on the other 12 regiments of 1200 immortals. Now, they can't really be soldiers. I was just thinking about this. I can't have, although they were in jihad in Greece back then, I can't make a soldier immortal. If they're going to harm somebody, I can't do that. But I can make, like, in like your inner cabinet, you know, I can make your inner cabinet immortal, you know, Putin. I can make, and China, you know, and North Korea. Definitely 100 love to have North Korea. I love North Korea. I'm gonna end this video on this because I'll be talking very decisive excess memory because I deleted everything. I love North Korea for a simple reason. The gospel truth. Gospel truth saves everything. Gospel truth saves your balls. Gospel truth saves everything. Absolutely everything. And these are very, you see, in North Korea, yes, here come our scientists. Yes, and give them great reward and great charity for their great accomplishments. For these nerds have been sitting behind a desk for the last 4 years and have made great achievements for us. And you don't do that, and, you know, nerds in Google and stuff don't get into buzz. I don't mean to break here, but you don't get that. You wouldn't get that anywhere, really, you know. But they do this thing, and it's amazing. I was like, and here come all our doctors that keep us alive. Oh, thanks for saving my life. And they parade and they cheer. And you all think they're like thinking they're too cool for their own shoes. I think, but they are giving gospel recognition where gospel truth is true. See, like, people have fought over this cool guy and giving recognition where it's due is an important thing. I never used to care for this because I knew God knew in the end, and humans are all stupid, so it doesn't matter if somebody's, you know, I don't mean to I used to give a lot of good ideas out there. Like, I'd be sitting at like in a music festival and I'd be smoking and taking drugs, and I'd give somebody an idea and he'd go off and write a book based on my idea, and he'd become a very famous author. And it's like, you don't get jealous about it. Like I used to when I was younger, I used to notice this. But then I realised, you know, you're just planting and growing and planting and growing. I got very humble about giving. You know what I mean? Yeah. Didn't lose you there, no. No, still there, that's right. On these trousers my friend gave to me, I just have to interrupt her. I've got a tambourine. These are Snickers trousers. These are Snickers work trousers, and you'll find that you'll have a tambourine by it. It's meant to hang a hammer. If you're a roofer, I reckon you'd hang a hammer off your leg. That's a fucking excellent tambourine. I'm starting a doom metal band in the new year. If you want to check us out, mate, like us on Facebook, you fucking drugger. What are we talking about? Something to do with Poland, I can't remember. I'm a JG, get me out of here. Right.